Hadīth 1. Narrated Abdullāh, a man said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Which sin is the greatest in Allah's sight? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to set up a rival unto Allah though He alone created you. The man said, What is next? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to kill your son lest he should share your food with you. The man said, What is next? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to commit illegal sexual intercourse with the wife of your neighbor. So Allah revealed in confirmation of this narration, and those who invoke not with Allah any other God, nor kill such life as Allah has forbidden except for just cause, nor commit illegal sexual intercourse. And whoever does this shall receive the punishment. Surah 25, Ayah 68. Hadīth 2. Narrated Ibn Umar, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, a faithful believer remains at liberty regarding his religion unless he kills somebody unlawfully. Hadīth 3. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, one of the evil deeds with bad consequence from which there is no escape for the one who is involved in it is to kill someone unlawfully. Hadīth 4. Narrated Abdullāh, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the first cases to be decided among the people, on the day of resurrection, will be those of bloodshed. Hadīth 5. Narrated Al-Miqdād bin Amr al-Kindi, an ally of Bani Zuhra who took part in the battle of Badr with the Prophet, that he said, O Allah's Apostle! If I meet an unbeliever and we have a fight, and he strikes my hand with the sword and cuts it off, and then takes refuge from me under a tree, and says, I have surrendered to Allah, that is, embraced Islam, may I kill him after he has said so? Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not kill him. Al-Miqdād said, but O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. He had chopped off one of my hands and he said that after he had cut it off. May I kill him? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not kill him, for if you kill him, he would be in the position in which you had been before you kill him, and you would be in the position in which he was before he said the sentence. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, also said to Al-Miqdād, if a faithful believer conceals his faith, Islam, from the disbelievers, and then when he declares his Islam, you kill him, you will be sinful. Remember that you were also concealing your faith, Islam, at Makkah before. Hadīth 6. Narrated Abdullāh, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, no human being is killed unjustly, but a part of responsibility for the crime is laid on the first son of Adam who invented the tradition of killing, murdering, on the earth. It is said that he was Qabil. Hadīth 7. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, after me, that is, after my death, do not become disbelievers, by striking, cutting, the necks of one another. Hadīth 8. Narrated Abu Zur'ah bin Amr bin Jarir, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said during Hajjat al-Wada, let the people be quiet and listen to me. After me, do not become disbelievers, by striking, cutting, the necks of one another. Hadīth 9. Narrated Abdullāh bin Amr, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Al-Kabair, the biggest sins, are, to join others, as partners, in worship with Allah, to be undutiful to one's parents, or said, to take a false oath. The sub-narrator, Shu'bah is not sure. Mu'ad said, Shu'bah said, Al-Kabair, the biggest sins, are, 1. Joining others as partners in worship with Allah, 2. To take a false oath, 3. And to be undutiful to one's parents, or said, to murder someone unlawfully. Hadīth 10. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the biggest of al-Kabair, the great sins, are, 1. To join others as partners in worship with Allah, 2. To murder a human being, 3. To be undutiful to one's parents, 4. And to make a false statement, or said, to give a false witness. Hadīth 11. Narrated Usama bin Zayd bin Haritha, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, sent us, to fight, against Al-Huraka, one of the sub-tribes, of Juhayna. We reached those people in the morning and defeated them. A man from the Ansar and I chased one of their men, and when we attacked him, he said, "None has the right to be worshipped but Allah." The Ansari refrained from killing him, but I stabbed him with my spear till I killed him. When we reached Medina, this news reached the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. He said to me, "O Usama, you killed him after he had said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah.'" I said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him." He said so in order to save himself. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "You killed him after he had said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah.'" The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, kept on repeating that statement till I wished I had not been a Muslim before that day. Hadīth 12. Narrated Ubadah bin Asamit, I was among those Naqibs, selected leaders, who gave the pledge of allegiance to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. We gave the oath of allegiance, that we would not join partners in worship besides Allah, would not steal, would not commit illegal sexual intercourse, would not kill a life which Allah has forbidden, would not commit robbery, would not disobey Allah and His Apostle, and if we fulfilled this pledge we would have paradise, but if we committed any one of these sins, then our case will be decided by Allah. Hadīth 13. Narrated Abdullāh, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever carries arms against us, is not from us." Hadīth 14. Narrated Al-Ahnaf bin Qais, I went to help that man, that is, Ali, and on the way I met Abu Bakr who asked me, "Where are you going?" I replied, "I am going to help that man." He said, "Go back, for I heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, if two Muslims meet each other with their swords, then, both, the killer and the killed one are in the hell fire." I said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. It is all right for the killer, but what about the killed one?" He said, "The killed one was eager to kill his opponent." Hadīth 15. Narrated Anas bin Malik, a Jew crushed the head of a girl between two stones, and the girl was asked, "Who has done that to you, so-and-so or so-and-so?" Some names were mentioned for her, till the name of that Jew was mentioned, whereupon she agreed. The Jew was brought to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, kept on questioning him till he confessed, whereupon his head was crushed with stones. Hadīth 16. Narrated Anas bin Malik, a girl wearing ornaments went out at Medina. Somebody struck her with a stone. She was brought to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while she was still alive. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, asked her, "Did such and such a person strike you?" She raised her head, denying that. He asked her a second time, saying, "Did so-and-so strike you?" She raised her head, denying that. He said for the third time, "Did so-and-so strike you?" She lowered her head, agreeing. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, then sent for the killer and killed him between two stones. Hadīth 17. Narrated Abdullāh, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "The blood of a Muslim who confesses that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah and that I am his apostle, cannot be shed except in three cases, in Qisas for murder, a married person who commits illegal sexual intercourse and the one who reverts from Islam, apostate, and leaves the Muslims." Hadīth 18. Narrated Anas, a Jew killed a girl so that he may steal her ornaments. He struck her with a stone, and she was brought to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, while she was still alive. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked her, "Did such and such person strike you?" She gestured with her head, expressing denial. He asked her for the second time, and she again gestured with her head, expressing denial. When he asked her for the third time, she beckoned, yes. So the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, killed him, the Jew, with 2 stones. Hadith 19. Narrated Abu Hurairah, in the year of the conquest of Makkah, the tribe of Khuzā killed a man from the tribe of Bani Layth in revenge for a killed person belonging to them in the pre-Islamic period of ignorance. So Allah's apostle got up saying, Allah held back the army having elephants from Makkah, but he let his apostle and the believers overpower the infidels of Makkah. Beware! Makkah is a sanctuary. Verily, fighting in Makkah was not permitted for anybody before me, nor will it be permitted for anybody after me. It was permitted for me only for a while, an hour or so, of that day. No doubt. It is at this moment a sanctuary, its thorny shrubs should not be uprooted, its trees should not be cut down, and its lukata, fallen things, should not be picked up except by the one who would look for its owner. And if somebody is killed, his closest relative has the right to choose one of 2 things, that is, either the blood money or retaliation by having the killer killed. Then a man from Yemen, called Abu Shah, stood up and said, Write that for me, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to his companions, Write that for Abu Shah. Then another man from Quraysh got up, saying, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Except al-Idkir, a special kind of grass, as we use it in our houses and for graves. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Except al-Idkir. Hadith 20. Narrated Ibn Abbas, for the children of Israel the punishment for crime was al-Qisas only, that is, the law of equality in punishment, and the payment of blood money was not permitted as an alternate. But Allah said to this nation, Muslims, O you who believe, Qisas is prescribed for you in case of murder. Up to, end of the verse. Surah 2, Ayah 178. Ibn Abbas added, remission, forgiveness, in this verse, means to accept the blood money in an intentional murder. Ibn Abbas added, the verse, then the relative should demand blood money in a reasonable manner, Surah 2, Ayah 178, means that the demand should be reasonable and it is to be compensated with handsome gratitude. Hadith 21. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the most hated persons to Allah are 3, 1, a person who deviates from the right conduct, that is, an evil-doer, in the haram, sanctuaries of Makkah and Medina, 2, a person who seeks that the traditions of the pre-Islamic period of ignorance should remain in Islam, 3, and a person who seeks to shed somebody's blood without any right. Hadith 22. Narrated Aisha, the pagans were defeated on the day of the battle of Uhud. Satan shouted among the people on the day of Uhud, O Allah's worshippers! Beware of what is behind you. So the front file of the army attacked the back files, mistaking them for the enemy, till they killed al-Yaman. Hudayfa bin al-Yaman shouted, My father! My father! But they killed him. Hudayfa said, May Allah forgive you. The narrator added, some of the defeated pagans fled till they reached Taif. Hadith 23. Narrated Anas bin Malik, a Jew crushed the head of a girl between 2 stones. It was said to her, Who has done this to you, such and such person, such and such person? When the name of the Jew was mentioned, she nodded with her head, agreeing. So the Jew was brought and he confessed. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered that his head be crushed with the stones. Hammam said, with 2 stones. Hadith 24. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, killed a Jew for killing a girl in order to take her ornaments. Hadith 25. Narrated Aisha, we poured medicine into the mouth of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, during his ailment. He said, Don't pour medicine into my mouth. We thought he said that, out of the aversion a patient usually has for medicines. When he improved and felt better he said, "There is none of you but will be forced to drink medicine, except Al-Abbas, for he did not witness your deed." Hadith 26. Narrated Abu Hurairah, that he heard Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, "We, Muslims, are the last to come, but will be the foremost on the day of resurrection." And added, "If someone is peeping, looking secretly, into your house without your permission, and you throw a stone at him and destroy his eyes, there will be no blame on you." Hadith 27. Narrated Yahya, Humayd said, a man peeped into the house of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, aimed an arrowhead at him to hit him. I asked, "Who told you that?" He said, "Anas bin Malik." Hadith 28. Narrated Aisha, when it was the day of the battle of Uhud, the pagans were defeated. Then Satan shouted, "O Allah's worshippers! Beware of what is behind you." So the front files attacked the back files of the army. Hudayfah looked, and behold, there was his father, Al-Yaman, being attacked. He shouted to his companions, "O Allah's worshippers, my father, my father." But by Allah, they did not stop till they killed him, that is, Hudayfah's father. Hudayfah said, "May Allah forgive you." Urwa said, Hudayfah continued asking Allah's forgiveness for the killer of his father till he died. Hadith 29. Narrated Salama, we went out with the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, to Khaybar. A man, from the companions, said, "O Amir, let us hear some of your huda, camel-driving songs." So he sang some of them, that is, a lyric in harmony with the camel's walk. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Who is the driver of these camels?" They said, "Amir." The Prophet said, "May Allah bestow His mercy on him." The people said, "O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Would that you let us enjoy his company longer." Then Amir was killed the following morning. The people said, "The good deeds of Amir are lost as he has killed himself." I returned at the time while they were talking about that. I went to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, "O Allah's Prophet, let my father be sacrificed for you." The people claim that Amir's good deeds are lost. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "Whoever says so is a liar, for Amir will have a double reward as he exerted himself to obey Allah and fought in Allah's cause. No other way of killing would have granted him greater reward." Hadith 30. Narrated Imran bin Husayn, a man bit another man's hand and the latter pulled his hand out of his mouth by force, causing two of his incisors, teeth, to fall out. They submitted their case to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who said, "One of you bit his brother as a male camel bites. Go away, there is no Diya, blood money, for you." Hadith 31. Narrated Ya Allah, I went out in one of the Ghazwa and a man bit another man and as a result, an incisor tooth of the former was pulled out. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, cancelled the case. Hadith 32. Narrated Anas, the daughter of An-Nadr slapped a girl and broke her incisor tooth. They, the relatives of that girl, came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and he gave the order of Qisas, equality in punishment. Hadith 33. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, "This and this are the same." He meant the little finger and the thumb. Hadith 34. Narrated Ibn Abbas, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying the same as above hadith. Hadith 35. Ibn Umar said, a boy was assassinated. Umar said, if all the people of Sana'a took part in the assassination I would kill them all. Al-Mughirah bin Hakim said that his father said, 4 persons killed a boy, and Umar said, as above. Abu Bakr, Ibn az-Zubayr, Ali and Suwayd bin Muqarrin gave the judgment of al-Qisas, equality in punishment, in cases of slapping. And Umar carried out al-Qisas for a strike with a stick. And Ali carried out al-Qisas for 3 lashes with a whip. And Ṣaḥīḥ carried out for 1 lash and for scratching. Hadīth 36. Narrated Aisha, we poured medicine into the mouth of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, during his illness, and he pointed out to us intending to say, don't pour medicine into my mouth. We thought that his refusal was out of the aversion a patient usually has for medicine. When he improved and felt a bit better, he said, to us, didn't I forbid you to pour medicine into my mouth? We said, we thought, you did so, because of the aversion one usually has for medicine. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there is none of you but will be forced to drink medicine, and I will watch you, except Al-Abbas, for he did not witness this act of yours. Hadīth 37. Narrated Sahal bin Abi Huthma, a man from the Ansar, that a number of people from his tribe went to Khaybar and dispersed, and then they found one of them murdered. They said to the people with whom the corpse had been found, you have killed our companion. Those people said, neither have we killed him, nor do we know his killer. The bereaved group went to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. We went to Khaybar and found one of us murdered. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, let the older among you come forward and speak. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said to them, bring your proof against the killer. They said, we have no proof. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, then they, the defendants, will take an oath. They said, we do not accept the oaths of the Jews. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, did not like that the blood money of the killed one be lost without compensation, so he paid 100 camels out of the camels of Zakat, to the relatives of the deceased, as Diya, blood money. Hadīth 38. Narrated Abu Kilaba, once Umar bin Abdul Aziz sat on his throne in the courtyard of his house so that the people might gather before him. Then he admitted them and, when they came in, he said, what do you think of Al-Qasama? They said, we say that it is lawful to depend on Al-Qasama in Qisas, as the previous Muslim caliphs carried out Qisas depending on it. Then he said to me, O Abu Kilaba, what do you say about it? He let me appear before the people and I said, O chief of the believers, you have the chiefs of the army staff and the nobles of the Arabs. If 50 of them testified that a married man had committed illegal sexual intercourse in Damascus but they had not seen him doing so, would you stone him? He said, no. I said, if 50 of them testified that a man had committed theft in Homs, would you cut off his hand though they did not see him? He replied, no. I said, by Allah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, never killed anyone except in one of the following 3 situations. 1. A person who killed somebody unjustly, was killed, in Qisas. 2. A married person who committed illegal sexual intercourse and, 3. A man who fought against Allah and his apostle and deserted Islam and became an apostate. Then the people said, didn't Anas bin Malik narrate that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, cut off the hands of the thieves, branded their eyes, and then threw them in the sun? I said, I shall tell you the narration of Anas. Anas said, 8 persons from the tribe of Uqayl came to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and gave the pledge of allegiance for Islam, became Muslim. The climate of the place, Medina, did not suit them, so they became sick and complained about that to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. He said, to them, won't you go out with the shepherd of our camels and drink of the camel's milk and urine, as medicine? They said, yes. So they went out and drank the camel's milk and urine, and after they became healthy, they killed the shepherd of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and took away all the camels. This news reached Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, so he sent men, to follow their traces, and they were captured and brought to the Prophet. He then ordered to cut their hands and feet, and their eyes were branded with heated pieces of iron, and then he threw them in the sun till they died. I said, what can be worse than what those people did? They deserted Islam, committed murder and theft. Then Unbasah bin Sa'id said, by Allah, I never heard a narration like this of today. I said, O Unbasah, you deny my narration? Unbasah said, no, but you have related the narration in the way it should be related. By Allah, these people are in welfare as long as this Sheikh, Abu Kilaba, is among them. I added, indeed in this event there has been a tradition set by Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. The narrator added, some Ansari people came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and discussed some matters with him. A man from amongst them went out and was murdered. Those people went out after him, and behold, their companion was swimming in blood. They returned to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said to him, O Allah's Apostle, we have found our companion who had talked with us and gone out before us, swimming in blood, killed. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, went out and asked them, whom do you suspect or whom do you think has killed him? They said, we think that the Jews have killed him. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, sent for the Jews and asked them, did you kill this person? They replied, no. He asked Al-Ansar, do you agree that I let 50 Jews take an oath that they have not killed him? They said, it matters little for the Jews to kill us all and then take false oaths. He said, then would you like to receive the Diya after 50 of you have taken an oath, that the Jews have killed your man? They said, we will not take the oath. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, himself paid them the Diya, blood money. The narrator added, the tribe of Hudayl repudiated one of their men, for his evil conduct, in the pre-Islamic period of ignorance. Then, at a place called Al-Batha, near Makkah, the man attacked a Yemenite family at night to steal from them, but a man from the family noticed him and struck him with his sword and killed him. The tribe of Hudayl came and captured the Yemenite and brought him to Umar during the Hajj season and said, he has killed our companion. The Yemenite said, but these people had repudiated him, that is, their companion. Umar said, let 50 persons of Hudayl swear that they had not repudiated him. So 49 of them took the oath, and then a person belonging to them came from Sham and they requested him to swear similarly, but he paid 1,000 dirhams instead of taking the oath. They called another man instead of him and the new man shook hands with the brother of the deceased. Some people said, we and those 50 men who had taken false oaths, Al-Qasama, set out, and when they reached a place called Naqla, it started raining, so they entered a cave in the mountain, and the cave collapsed on those 50 men who took the false oath, and all of them died except the 2 persons who had shaken hands with each other. They escaped death, but a stone fell on the leg of the brother of the deceased and broke it, whereupon he survived for 1 year and then died. I further said, Abdul Malik bin Marwan sentenced a man to death in Qisas, equality in punishment, for murder, basing his judgment on Al-Qasama, but later on he regretted that judgment and ordered that the names of the 50 persons who had taken the oath, Al-Qasama, be erased from the register, and he exiled them in Sham. Hadith 39. Narrated on us, a man peeped into one of the dwelling places of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, got up and aimed a sharp-edged arrow-head, or wooden stick, at him to poke him stealthily. Hadith 40. Narrated Sahih bin Sa'd as-Sa'idi, a man peeped through a hole in the door of Allah's Messenger's house, and at that time, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, had a madri, an iron comb or bar, with which he was rubbing his head. So when Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saw him, he said to him, if I had been sure that you were looking at me, through the door, I would have poked your eye with this sharp iron bar. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, added, the asking for permission to enter has been enjoined so that one may not look unlawfully, at what there is in the house without the permission of its people. Hadith 41. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Al-Qasama said, if any person peeps at you without your permission and you poke him with a stick and injure his eye, you will not be blamed. Hadith 42. Narrated Ash-Shu'abi, I heard Abu Juhayfa saying, I asked Ali, have you got any divine literature apart from the Quran? Once he said, apart from what the people have? Ali replied, by him who made the grain split, germinate, and created the soul, we have nothing except what is in the Quran and the ability, gift, of understanding Allah's book which He may endow a man with, and we have what is written in this paper. I asked, what is written in this paper? He replied, Al-Aqila, the regulation of Diya, about the ransom of captives, and the judgment that a Muslim should not be killed in Qisas, equality in punishment, for killing a disbeliever. Hadith 43. Narrated Abu Hurairah, 2 women from the tribe of Hudayl fought with each other, and one of them threw a stone at the other, causing her to have a miscarriage, and Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, gave his verdict that the killer of the fetus should give a male or female slave as a Diya. Hadith 44. Narrated Hisham's father from Al-Mughirah bin Shu'bah, Umar consulted the companions about the case of a woman's abortion, caused by somebody else. Al-Mughirah said, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, gave the verdict that a male or female slave should be given as a Diya. Then Muhammad bin Maslamah testified that he had witnessed the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, giving such a verdict. Hadith 45. Narrated Hisham's father, Umar asked the people, who heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, giving his verdict regarding abortions? Al-Mughirah said, I heard him judging that a male or female slave should be given as a Diya. Umar said, present a witness to testify your statement. Muhammad bin Maslamah said, I testify that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, gave such a judgment. Hadith 46. Narrated Urwa, I heard Al-Mughirah bin Shu'bah narrating that Umar had consulted them about the case of abortion, similarly as narrated in Hadith 45. Hadith 47. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, gave a verdict regarding an aborted fetus of a woman from Bani Lihyan that the killer of the fetus should give a male or female slave as a Diya, but the woman who was required to give the slave died, so Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, gave the verdict that her inheritance be given to her children and her husband, and the Diya be paid by her Asaba. Hadith 48. Narrated Abu Hurairah, 2 women from Hudayl fought with each other and one of them hit the other with a stone that killed her and what was in her womb. The relatives of the killer and the relatives of the victim submitted their case to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, who judged that the Diya for the fetus was a male or female slave, and the Diya for the killed woman was to be paid by the Asaba, near relatives, of the killer. Hadith 49. Narrated Abdul Aziz, Anas said, when Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, arrived at Medina, Abu Talha took hold of my hand and brought me to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Anas is an intelligent boy, so let him serve you. Anas added, so I served the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, at home and on journeys. By Allah, he never said to me for anything which I did, why have you done this like this, or for anything which I did not do, why have you not done this like this? Hadith 50. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there is no Diya for persons killed by animals or for the one who has been killed accidentally by falling into a well or for the one killed in a mine. And 1/5 of rikaz, treasures buried before the Islamic era, is to be given to the state. Hadith 51. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there is no Diya for a person injured or killed by an animal, going about without somebody to control it, and similarly, there is no Diya for the one who falls and dies in a well, and also the one who dies in a mine. As regards the recompense, buried wealth, 1/5 thereof is for the state. Hadīth 52. Narrated Abdullāh bin Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, whoever killed a muwahhid, a person who is granted the pledge of protection by the Muslims, shall not smell the fragrance of paradise, though its fragrance can be smelt at a distance of 40 years, of traveling. Hadīth 53. Narrated Abu Juhayfa, I asked Ali, do you have anything divine literature besides what is in the Quran? Or, as Uyayna once said, apart from what the people have? Ali said, by him who made the grain split, germinate, and created the soul, we have nothing except what is in the Quran and the ability, gift, of understanding Allah's book which He may endow a man with, and what is written in this sheet of paper. I asked, what is on this paper? He replied, the legal regulations of Diya, blood money, and the ransom for, releasing of the captives, and the judgment that no Muslim should be killed in Qisas, equality in punishment, for killing a Kafir, disbeliever. Hadīth 54. Narrated Abu Sa'id, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not prefer some prophets to others. Hadīth 55. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, a Jew whose face had been slapped, by someone, came to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and said, O Muhammad! A man from your Ansari companions slapped me. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, call him. They called him and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, asked him, why did you slap his face? He said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. While I was passing by the Jews, I heard him saying, by him who chose Moses above all the human beings. I said, protestingly, even above Muhammad? So I became furious and slapped him. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not give me preference to other prophets, for the people will become unconscious on the day of resurrection and I will be the first to gain consciousness, and behold, I will find Moses holding one of the pillars of the throne, of Allah. Then I will not know whether he has become conscious before me or he has been exempted because of his unconsciousness at the mountain, during his worldly life, which he received.